Atlanta fans, welcome to that Atlanta sports show. Not just any sports show, not this sports show, but that Atlanta sports show. I'm your host, Jeremy the Impact York. Man, we're going to get into some Falcon stuff in a minute. Got a couple notes on United first. Also want to tell you that if you want to really help the show, go to our YouTube channel, impact underscore media underscore, and be sure to subscribe and like and comment and all the things. We read them. We respond to as many as we can that need to be responded to, and we enjoy the feedback. We definitely appreciate it, and that keeps us free content. We want to keep it free for you guys. Um, so let's just get into United notes. Um, I mentioned it last week, but I'm going to say it again because a lot of people brought it up in the past week. Brad Guzan is coming back next year. I hope you're excited. You better be. He played really well this year. Was by far the captain and by far one of the people that everybody rallies behind. And he's still a top-notch player. So let's quit trying to run him out of the building for the small percentage of you guys that think there is a better option out there. There's not. And it's not because, there's just not a option. No, there's tons of options. Just none of them make more sense than bringing Brad back. Brad wants to be here. Brad loves this team. He knows that this team can do things. And secondly, Dax McCarty is not coming back. Unfortunately, Dax has called it a career. I guess he could be talked out of retirement in a way, but it sounds to me like he's very at peace with calling this a career. And just fantastic career he had. I'm glad he was able to spend the last year here in Atlanta. Just a spectacular person, spectacular player, even better person. Just in a way, he was kind of the Lorentowicz with this team. He was that veteran presence that whenever he was on the pitch, the team rallied around him. So definitely going to miss Dax McCarty, and can't wait to see Brad back between the pipes. As far as the team, we don't know officially which options they're picking up and which ones they're not. And any kind of loans or anything going on or any of them called back, we should be hearing that in the next couple of weeks. Tune into this show as I will do my best to either have people on that can better explain it, or I will explain it myself if I can explain it just the same way, or any kind of updates. But we are going to have people on this show here soon, and I think that was pretty much the United note. We know they need to go after a striker, maybe a midfielder, or a defender. I mean, I don't know. Garth knows what he wants to do, and I look forward to what he's going to do. Speaking of a team that's not sure what they are or what they're going to do, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. They dropped the game at home last week to the Chargers, which we're going to talk about in a second. Very winnable game. The offense just sputtered. Kurt decided he would rather throw to the other team than his own team. I don't particularly know why. I put a lot of those mistakes on him. He's played pretty well up until now. You guys, when I say you guys, the small percentage that try to point out that he's not the world's best quarterback, he's had a pretty solid year up until now. Now, the fact that he hasn't thrown a touchdown in like 2 games now or 3 games, whatever it is, that's a little odd. That's something you don't normally see. Just like Young Ho Koo missing kicks. You usually don't see that. But, the scoring in this one, Bijan had the rush early on to give him the lead. Then Cameron Dicker kicked a 45-yard field goal. Then in the second, he kicked a 51 and 34-yard field goal. And that made it 9-7 Chargers. And I can't lie, the first thought that come into my mind is, oh crap, They're going to lose another game to the opposing kicker, the same way Pittsburgh beat them with Chris Bosworth. I thought for sure this is going to end up, 15-7 or 15-14 or something like that. And it was pretty close to that. But in the third quarter, Young Ho Koo kicked a 41-yard field goal. It looked more like a Koo kick than the past couple of weeks. He's got a bad hamstring or something. I think he missed one early on in this one. I got to echo friend of the show, Anthony Hammett, who on Facebook was very curious as to why your injured kicker, especially with a bad hamstring, a leg injury, is playing in the game. Anthony, the best I can tell you is he was the best option. They could have signed people, they could have brought people in, they could have done things like that, but they would have had to deactivate him, I think, to do so, and they just didn't have the roster spot to play with. So, unfortunately, Anthony, and for other fans, we got Young Ho Koo, who, I mean, he did kick the 41 yarder, he kicked the 26 yarder at the end. Or towards the end of the third quarter, nobody scored in the fourth. You know, in between that, it's not like their offense was doing spectacular either. This Falcons defense was actually doing pretty well against Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh. Tar Heap still ended up, he was a DB for the other team and for the Chargers. And he had two picks on the day, none bigger than the 61-yard pick six he had late in the third that gave them what turned into the leading score of 17-10 because Justin Herbert was able to find Joshua Palmer for the 2-point conversion. But like I said, Herbert threw for 147 yards. That's a guy that could throw for 300 every game. He hasn't recently, but it is what it is for that. Their leading rusher, 6 carries for 32 yards. 6 carries for 32 yards. Nothing personal to Edwards because he's a great back, but I mean, I feel like me or you could do that, right? Now, of the 147 yards that Justin Herbert threw, 117 of them, so all but 30, went to Ladd McConkey, who was an all-world wide receiver. And dog fans, sit down. That's not a dog reference. Sit. Don't say we should have drafted him. No. Where would you put him? Who are you bumping? Are you bumping Drake London? No. Kyle Pitts? No. Are you bumping Darnell Mooney? No. Ray McLeod? No. Who are you bumping off this team for Ladd McConkey? I mean, he's great. I'll give you that. But who are you bumping? You can't have everybody. You can't have 17 receivers. You can only play so many at a time. You only have, 4? 5 in the game at once? I guess unless you line them up as linemen, but they're eligible at that point. But Ladd McConkey, all-world. Get used to it. He actually got hurt. He would have had more yards than that, and they probably would have scored again had he played more of the game. But on the flip side, Kirk Cousins, 24 for 39. It's not bad. That's almost 2/3. 245 yards. Okay. Kurt's good for 250 to 300 on a game. 4 interceptions. 2 went to Steele. Kurt can't have that. 1 or 2, you get by with. Can't have 4. Bijan Robinson, 26 carries, 102 yards, and a touchdown. That's a Bijan day. They tried to get other people involved and just wasn't working. Now, Ray McLeod ended up being the top receiver, 4 catches for 95 yards. He turned into the Darnell Mooney. Mooney was a little banged up in this one. Ray McLeod decided he was going to take over that role, and he was Kurt's best target throughout the day. But the offense just couldn't really get into anything. Where is it? The defense ended up with 5 sacks, 5 against Justin Herbert. Your defensive line beat up their offensive line. Caden Ellis, Onyemata, Arnold Etbeketti. Is that how you? He ended up with 2, and Kentavious Street ended up with the other one. Like I said, just a lot of things were going really, really well. You only punted twice. Now, granted, that's because Kirk turned the ball over 4 times on his own. That at least 2 of those would have been punts, more than likely. But I don't know. You played this way at home. You played this way at home. You got to play better. Absolutely got to play better. And you even had a Sunday time spot. You didn't play on Thursday. You didn't play on Friday, Saturday, nothing like that. You played on Sunday, your normal time spot. This week you got to bring it because Sunday at 1 o'clock on Fox, the Minnesota Vikings are going to welcome in our Atlanta Falcons. The Vikings at 10-2, honestly, should probably be an 8-4 team. But the play of Sam Darnold, the play of a lot of people have surprised on this team. Imagine what happens if J.J. McCarthy's there. I don't know. He might not be better than Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's playing all world right now. But this Vikings offense at 10-2, they're a 5.5-point favorite at home, which means if they played this game in my backyard or in your backyard, they would only be a 2.5-point favorite. That tells you where they see these teams, that they give respect to the Falcons and they don't give as much to the Vikings. The Falcons can win this game. First off, let's go to the 3 keys on how they can win this game. First off, Kurt can't throw 4 interceptions. You got to win the turnover battle in general. Kurt, you throw 1, fine. 2, let's slow it down a little bit. No, let's try to keep it at 0. But you got to win the turnover battle. You lost it last week, even though your defense played great. Because you guys can shut down this defense the same way. You can end up with 4 or 5 sacks. You can end up with some pass deflections and some interceptions and really keep yourself in this game. But in turning the ball over to the offense needs to score. Get Drake London involved early. Get Kyle Pitts involved early. Because Mooney and McLeod, they just go into game flow. They get involved as they need to. But you need to get your 2 big weapons going. You need to get Bijan going big time, early and often, because the Vikings are going to do the same thing, and they're going to get their guys in early. So get your offensive weapons fired up early. And then, the third key, special teams. Your coverage has been pretty good. Koo is starting to do a little better. Let's hope he's good enough to go in this game. I believe he is cleared to go. Let's hope the hamstring doesn't flare up with that one, because I don't know if Pinion can kick field goals. I would get him practicing those just in case. But just overall, special teams has got to make a couple plays until we can confidently get behind this offense. Right now, you can't. You want to. Kirk Cousins is a top 10 quarterback. He's probably a top 8. He's right there in the Matt Ryan range. You have 2 all-world backs. You have 4 receivers that could put up 60 to 80 yards any game. You have one of the best offensive lines in the game. And I just want to see what this stat's going to be. How many points you are pretty much averaging. Let's see. All right. Let's start at the beginning of the year. 10 versus the Steelers. 22, 17, 26, 36, 38, 34, 31, 27. Looks like you're averaging about 30 points a game. You can beat the Vikings with 30 points. You can very much beat the Vikings with 30 points. Because what have the Vikings done? Let's find that out. I think the Vikings will win a lot of games 2017 and things like that. 23-30, 23. They beat the Jaguars 12-7. 12-7. The Jaguars. 20, 29. Yeah, I would confidently say about 27, 28 points is what they're averaging, and you're averaging 30 plus. You should win this game 30-28. There's your score prediction right there. I'm going to say Falcons 30, 28 for the Vikings. Now, 30 is a weird number to get to, but 30 or 31. We'll play that. 30, we'll go 31. 31, 28, Falcons. That's what I got. That's absolutely what I got. And hopefully that's what you guys have as well, because we have reached the end of tonight's show. So shout out to all you amazing people and Falcons fans and United fans alike that allow us to come on each and every weekend, talk about our great Atlanta team. I'm Jeremy the Impact York. Make sure to go follow us on all the social medias and everything, and we will see you guys next week. Deuces, gooses. Go watch Falcons. Go United.